So I wanted to go through some of the specifics and the facts and the details and sort of the design process of the hail cage. One of the major things that's going to be on everyone's mind is how much does it cost and how much does it weigh? So the total cost was $1,051. That included all of the parts and getting the 1.5-inch aluminized steel bent on all of the corners for both the rear fold down, the front fold down, and the middle, and getting it all welded. So we have some seams. These sections right here we called the mounting bars. Obviously they're the things that are mounted to the crossbars right here. So they had to be welded right here at this intersection on all those 4 different corners. And we had these sections right here expanded here and here, and then we had them welded right there and right there. And then on the other side, you'll see the same thing. Actually, here it is on the front, welded right there. And then on the front over here, welded. And then on these two, it's welded here and here. And again, the professional welders that we took this to, they had to expand this side of the metal to slide this pipe in and weld it there and there. And then it was also welded on the back side here and expanded. So that was all done professionally by someone we hired. But really it only ended up being about $200. The rest of it, the other $900, was all just the material. So the aluminized steel pipes, the mesh, the turnbuckles and wires, all of the zip ties, all of the Lexan, the polycarbonate side panels were probably the most expensive. They were $300 for both of them. Now that's 1/4 inch, so that's a lot. That's really heavy duty. The whole thing, the whole setup is really heavy duty. So I planned it to be able to take baseball-sized hail to softball-sized hail and any kind of debris that might be in like maybe the outer circulation of the tornado. So nothing like really intense, but maybe if you were like a good 100 yards, if you got just some stuff flying through the air, that's basically the whole idea behind these side panels being 1/4 inch. These were actually welded by my friend Pep, who helped me build it. And really the initial design behind these, they were supposed to open up and slide down in between. But as you can see, it starts bending the polycarbonate out of whack, and it doesn't end up lining up and it doesn't fit. So what we had to do was throw out that idea and then just pull it down so it's just vertical stoppers from the thing flying away and then coming back and hitting the car really hard. So price tag, basically $1,000. The design time it took was, my friend Pep and I, Pep lives in another state, so we did a lot of Skyping, talking over the phone. We sent a lot of emails, and I would say we probably put in a good 15 to 20 hours of actual thinking, designing, drawing up schematics, and discussing this kind of stuff. And what I'd really like to do is I'd like to go through kind of the step-by-step decisions we made, so you really have a full appreciation of why we went with the design that we ended up going with. Now, at the beginning, I said that there were 2 major things. One is the price, and 2 is the weight. I'll just throw that out there at the beginning. I believe, though I haven't weighed it, it's about 125 pounds. So I don't know if that's exactly right, but it's heavy enough. If you come in here, you can see that there's actually some dimpling that happens on the roof of the car because of the weight. So if I push up a little bit, you might see the little bit of reverberation that happens on the roof itself. So there's a little bit of dimpling. It's actually a little more significant on this side of the car. Right here, if you look through, you can see that that's pretty heavy dimpling right there. So if I push up, you can see the normal roof form back into its normal shape. So the 125 pounds to, I don't want to say it's more than 140, is a little bit intense for a 2007 Toyota Camry. But if you already have a roof rack system, especially if you have a 4x4 vehicle, you're going to already be set up. So come on back over on this side, and let me explain the design process. So we wanted to go with a customized roof rack. Some of the best roof racks out there, Thule and Yakima, had very narrow spacing for the bars. I think they were only about 23 inches, roughly right here, because you can see how the door frame moves at an angle about right here. And once it starts getting into more that dramatic angle, they can't work with that. So it had to stay within about this narrow space. And that was just too narrow. As you can see, the size of this thing, way too big for that. So we had to go with the customized roof rack. As I said before in an earlier video, we decided to put this plate along the top as a safety measure, both for the roof and the integrity of the car, and to just disperse some of the weight, torque, and pressure that's taking place because it's so heavy. The main frame that we decided to go with extends out past the edge of the car because, as I mentioned before in a previous video, I've seen hail damage to cars where the hail has come in at an angle and really damaged the door frame and a part of the frame itself, so that the door was difficult to open and close and the window got smashed. So I wanted to minimize any of that by extending the main frame over to almost a vertical line with the side of the car, so that when you folded down the polycarbonate sheet, you got almost nearly 90-degree or vertical angle right here. As you can see, it's a little bit off, it's not perfect, but that was in essence what we were going for. So that's why we took the dimensions for, I believe it was 72 across. It's been a while since I've looked at them, so I might be messing that up. But as you can see, like I mentioned, it's roughly along the edge of the car. Let me talk about the front and rear fold downs. The rear fold down, I always envisioned as going over the back windshield. I figured, why not? You can have it go over, it's not going to reduce your visibility out of the back of the car that much. In the beginning, I had an idea of having some kind of strap, and this would always just be down, and the strap would hook under the wheel well and be strapped to hold this down to the back of the car. But over time, I found out that that would be useless, because this is heavy enough to keep itself down, but for driving purposes, it has to stay on top to keep the polycarbonate from flying up. So it's just better to ride with it on top. Now the front, I envisioned the front being vertical like this, and actually having some kind of mounting system here, whether it was magnets with vertical posts or something along the edge right here to keep it up, to keep my visibility clear. But the more I thought about it, the more I tried to contemplate how that was going to work. Pep and I decided that really the easiest design, the most feasible, would just be allow it to sit on the hood. It would obscure your vision, but you'd only be driving through the hail with it down or any kind of dodgy situation, and then it would be back up on top of the car, so you wouldn't need to worry about your vision being obscured for very long. The other problem with this is if you had anything coming into the front right here, maybe it was, I don't know, a piece of debris or a stick or anything like that come into the front, it could possibly knock out whatever vertical post or guard you have there, and then who knows what would happen depending on the design. So that was the idea for that. I originally, let's fold this down, originally had the idea of using expanded metal for the top. Now expanded metal, in case you don't know what that is, if you look over in this neighbor's driveway over here, you'll see they have that trailer. On the back of that trailer, what folds down, what allows people to push up their mowers or whatever it is going to be expanded metal, and it's going to look like flat metal diamond shapes all the way down it, and it's actually really tough. And so I originally thought, okay, let's go with that on top.